Originally, I was like scheduled to have it passed by today, so sort of like end of today. And I wasn't really catching any moves yesterday. You know, the markets weren't really doing a whole lot. Then Donald Trump, he announced a pretty good trade plan with the UK. Obviously, caused this nice push. And I wasn't expecting it to go too far, so we kind of broke like the 300 point area from when he first announced it. So we kind of broke like this area here, and I was thinking that we'd start kind of either consolidating or dropping off. So I started kind of like layering in sells. So I ended up catching shorts somewhere around there. Obviously, it went into profit, but I wasn't quite happy with the drop. We ended up pushing back up, so I ended up capturing another position, and then similar story, and then basically I ended up capturing a final position here. And then we kind of ended up having like pretty similar drop, but obviously I'd entered with more positions, so obviously it was higher profit, and all positions were floating in profit, so ended up closing just as we took out this low here. And then we ended up kind of like retesting sort of up here, so I ended up capturing sells basically just as we tapped this candle just there, the last bullish candle before we came down and broke this low. So I ended up capturing sells just here and rode it down just basically until I passed the account, which I think was like somewhere around here, I think, if I remember correctly. But obviously I could have held it if it was, if it wasn't a challenge account. Obviously I could have held it for pretty much the move that I was looking for. I was looking for kind of like this area here to be kind of retested. But yeah, overall it was a nice sort of end of session trade. We're getting a lot of sort of nice moves in the end of session, so it's kind of making me want to change my trading hours. Not fully convinced yet, but we'll see, because like I said, the start of New York session, it doesn't really do a whole lot, and it's not really been doing a whole lot for the past couple of weeks now. So I don't know. We'll see what today brings, but I'm not expecting too much. Like, there's no news. This was caused by tariffs again. But yeah, there's no news for New York session. There's a couple of Fed speeches, but no one interesting really talking. And obviously it's Friday, so we're going to be expecting slower markets today, but we're all right with that, to be honest. Take our time, have a nice little relaxing time just before the weekend, and maybe if we're lucky, catch some winning trades along the way. Kwasi, welcome in. AJ, how you doing? Thank you very much, man. Yeah, it was just enough to pass my account one day earlier than scheduled, so I'm glad you're doing well. How's everyone's trading weeks been so far? Obviously, we've got 10 minutes until New York cash open, so there's nothing to really look at for now. In a plus YE trade, plus VE. What's plus VE? Jet Black, one loss this week. You don't like the PA, plus you're busy. Fully understand, man. The price action this week has been pretty dreadful, to be honest, especially with equities. Oh, okay. So you're up for the week then. How do you normally plan the trade before market open? Do you mark the zones or something like that in higher time frame? To be honest, I don't. I like to kind of just watch price action. I feel like price action tells you everything that you need to know. Yeah, I mean, higher time frame obviously can be used for somewhat direction. You know, for example, I'm kind of expecting this area here to get targeted, and then we'll be watching the 1 minute chart and then see if sellers want to come in and try and basically defend this level again. But yeah, I don't really like to mark zones too much on the higher time frame. I more just look for my strict setup, and if all else, I just like to watch price action, because I feel like there's no greater indicator than actually watching what the charts are doing in that very moment, Yeah, no worries. Have you been trading much this week, Kwasi, or have you been staying out and just learning, back testing, forward testing? Got 7 minutes until the markets are open, guys. Start trading a funded account like 4 months ago. I've been learning for about 6 months before. Wow. So you've only been trading for about 10 months total then, or past one account, and I'm trying to farm more capital. Congratulations. I'd definitely say that capital is the main thing to focus on. A lot of people, they try and make, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 a month just from a single account. And, I'm not saying it can't be done, because, obviously it can, depending on the account size, of course. But it's so much easier if you get to spread those earnings across multiple accounts. It's very much the plan that I'm going for at the moment, which obviously yesterday marked the completion of phase 1, which was to pass a fresh account and have a funded account, and then just 4 more phases left, and then it should be about $20,000 a day in profits. But obviously I don't need to go for $20,000 a day. If I walk away and I make, I don't know, $5,000 in a day, still incredible money. It's still more than what most people make, even at the sort of highest professions. I was learning macroeconomics before this. Seems I'm a bit familiar with trading for like 1.5 years already. It's just that I started focusing solely on trading this year. I mean, fair enough, I mean, not even really 1 year into, actively trading, and already past a funded challenge. That's incredible. Most people, it takes them, I'd say, at least sort of 2 years to get to that point. So, you're already ahead of the game. And, so long as you're not chasing the money and just focusing on solid trades, using money as a byproduct instead, I don't see why you won't be able to kind of maintain the progress. Gold's been choppy today. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of to be expected. Obviously, you're having a little bit more sort of like national stability since, the trade deal between the US and the UK. But then also you've got war breaking out between India and Pakistan. So obviously that's gonna be wanting to make gold go up, while stability wants to make gold come down. So yeah, I'd be expecting a lot of chop on gold lately. Uh, 2.5 minutes till the market's open, guys. Magic, welcome in. How you doing? I read a story the other day, actually, about I can't remember what country it was. It was something about, like, I think New Zealand or Australia or something like that. Might even have been South Africa, to be honest. But basically, a farmer found a gold reserve like under his farm, and it was worth like billions of dollars. Magic, I'm glad you're doing well. But yeah, then apparently like the government confiscated it off of him and didn't even compensate him for like any of it. Me personally, I wouldn't have told anyone. Like, it's like these people that, I don't know, like they'll do something crazy, like they'll, I don't know, gamble on crypto or something like that, and they'll make, $300 million or something like this. And they go and tell the news station, and it's like, I'd be keeping that secret. I don't want people knowing how much money I'm making, or, like the full amount of my, finances. Especially if I'm finding a gold reserve that's worth billions of dollars, I'd slowly be chiseling that away and selling it. Maybe tell some close friends, have them come help you. During war times, will Bitcoin be bullish or bearish? I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really think we've had any kind of like significant wars where Bitcoin's been affected, have we? Because like during sort of like Russia and Ukraine, I don't think it did much. So it might not even be an asset that's really affected by world affairs. Markets are now open, so let's see what we get. Well, yeah, I saw that Bitcoin pushed over the 100k mark again. There's been a lot of speculation that by 2026, Bitcoin will be at $400,000, and that the actual bull run hasn't even started yet. Like CEOs of like crypto firms and like investment branches and stuff all seem to be kind of following the same number. Obviously, I don't know how much of it I really believe. It is just speculation. But XRP is doing well. I don't know if anyone's holding a bag of XRP, but you've been given some great prices to kind of reinvest in. I've already mentioned multiple times I'm holding XRP for $5. $5 and I'm out. I can see it going a lot higher, but yeah, I'm happy with $5. How many times have we already heard these fairy tales? Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's always a little bit different, I suppose, when it's coming from, you know, like the CEO of you know, Ripple and, you know, other companies like this. It's going to sound really daft, right? But do you know one of the biggest reasons that I'm holding XRP? It's The Simpsons. Like, you know the cartoon Simpsons. So one of the episodes, it's like a TV screen. And you know how, like, you know, you'll have like the news channel, and it'll say like news here, and then it's like a person, and then I don't know how that's a person, but we're going to accept it. And then it's like one of those like banners at the bottom, right, that like rolls across. Well, it said like XRP, and it was like 10,400 and something dollars. And you know, The Simpsons predicts the future all the time, so you know, am I going to hold for $10,000? Absolutely not. I might leave a little bit. They set the future. Yeah, I might hold like a little bit. You know, see if, like, I don't know, when I'm 65 years old, you know, if Ripple's actually at like $10,000, might be a nice little sort of like retirement fund. But yeah, I won't be holding like all of my bag for 10K. I think that'd be crazy. Do you reckon that's what it is, Jet Black? Do you reckon the... Oh, what's his name? Is it Matt Groening or something? Do you reckon he was part of a secret society? Yeah, that's fair. I know there's like loads of people that actually like fully believe that he's a time traveler. It would be quite funny, to be honest. You know, like, imagine you're a time traveler. You know, you come back to the year, I don't know, 2000 or whatever, and rather than just telling people that you're a time traveler, you just decide to make a stupid cartoon, and you know, you just slip in like little nuggets of like information. Oh man, you're all good. YouTube won't care. There's already so many like conspiracy theories on YouTube, it won't matter. I've not even got my trading account open. There we go. Yeah, quite an uneventful sort of first 5 minutes. As I said before market open, it's kind of to be expected. I feel like we're either going to have a really volatile day after, you know, kind of like the tariff announcements, and not so much announcements, but there was like a little bit of talk about tariffs today. I'll try and find what was said. Yeah, here you go. So this is what was said. And obviously that's what caused this huge candle. But I'm not sure if obviously more will be said. you know, is obviously quite dangerous because, well, you know, imagine getting stuck in this trade and then it just explodes out of nowhere. You know, there's no real, well, there is no possible way that you could think that this is going to happen. But yeah, we just have to kind of keep our money safe in markets like these. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's going to be sort of more volatility based around this, or you know, based around the announcement that was yesterday about the UK trade deal, or if we're just going to be absolutely dead today and just no volume because there is no news. Yeah, US 30 is not really doing much. ES pretty much following what the NQ is doing, and Russell also pretty much just following trend. So no trades for now, guys. Petra, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We have decent volume. We're just not really doing a whole lot. Yeah, I think today might be a another case for basically what's been happening for the whole week. Just nothing in sort of the first hour of New York, and then, you know, we start getting a little bit more volume increase, a little bit more happening on the charts. But we'll keep our eyes open no matter what. What's everyone's weekend plans? Survive the war. Okay, of all the things I was expecting you to say, that was not one of them. What's your actual weekend plans? Or because in my mind that just has me like just imagining you sat in like a bomb shelter just all weekend. I have a feeling it will remain bullish. And what about everyone else? What's everyone else's weekend plans? No plans as of yet. Fair enough. I feel like that's pretty similar to my weekend, to be honest. For the first time in a long time, I have nothing to do. So, you know, I'm gonna focus on chilling out. Maybe maybe even try and like record some videos for you guys. Have to see. Yeah, I'm not really wanting to trade in this area, to be honest. I've only had a 50-point opening range so far. I do see NQ pushing up and breaking this high though. ES will be wanting to come and target this high here. And obviously in doing so, it will then drag NQ's price higher. Nice pin on that candle as well. Gold's kind of just keeping this range for now. Slowly breaking out to the top side, but overall just following what it's been doing all day. Just slow incremental moves to the top side. Copper's sitting a little bit higher than all the rest. Obviously copper kind of exploded during London session, so would have been a great sell trade on copper and silver, to be honest. Gold kind of like remaining flat during London, both of these two breaking up to the top side, offering sell opportunities. But yeah, really the trade was on copper. Can expect decent price action next week. I don't know, to be totally honest. What have we got next week? Monday, there's usually nothing. Yeah, there's nothing on Monday. Okay, so we have CPI on Tuesday. So it might be a slow morning on Tuesday, and then, you know, hopefully some nice price action after the news release. Wednesday, nothing of interest. Thursday, a bit of news. Obviously, we have Powell's speech as well. So Thursday might be an interesting day for quite large moves. And then Friday, nothing really happening on Friday other than the Michigan index, but that doesn't normally do too much. So yeah, kind of Tuesday, Thursday are going to be the days that we're going to be wanting to watch mostly on equities. So possibly nice price action. Monday might be a little bit slow, but to be honest, Mondays are usually quite slow. Mondays and Fridays. Wednesday could be quite nice, because obviously you'll have kind of delayed results of CPI, while also like slight hesitation from the news release on Thursday. So you know, you could get some nice ranges on Wednesday. Yeah, ES failed to come and take that high, has resulted in a breakdown here. We could possibly see buys sort of around this area. Same for NQ. Obviously, we had this candle here kind of come down, wick everything out. And then nice little market structure shift here. Continuation, showing bullish trend. Liquidity level just here. So We could possibly see buys around here and then come and target this. It's already marked out. Come and target this high thereafter. But honestly, I'm just not really expecting too much today. I will apologise if I'm charting things up a little bit slower today. Really hurt my wrist yesterday. Got it trapped in a car door, so. I'm an injured man. What can I say? Has anyone else's trading view been doing this lately, where you're just missing a candle? Like that's at 243, that's at 245. So where's the 244 candle gone? And then you refresh it, and it loads in, and now it's there. Like, it's been kind of driving me insane, I'm not gonna lie. Because now I have a gap here, right? Where I'm now missing a candle. Anyone else's charts do that? Or are mine just broken? Your trading view's fine. Yeah, I don't really know what causes it, to be honest, because like that candle was there beforehand, but then obviously this one here was missing, and now I have that one. Now this one's missing, and just like that, it's back. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot happening today. Even US 30 doesn't really seem to be moving too much. 120-point range. Yeah, quite a slow, miserable day, but I mean, at least the weather's nice. Don't know how it is for you guys, but here in the UK, it's lovely today. Let's see what temperature it is. 19 degrees. Not bad. Yeah, we're just getting loads of wicks in this area. The price is actually unsure where to go. I have a feeling we might flip bearish. But honestly, it's hard to tell. Buyers are getting rejected, but also sellers are getting rejected, so pretty unclear at the moment. There's currently 54% people short on the market right now. I've just caught a short position, just as we broke this low here. They're just looking for something like this. It's not a huge trade, but it's something at least. We do have VWAP to obviously be concerned about. If we find support off the VWAP, then you know we might end up getting stopped. But I have a feeling that we're just going to push through. Yeah, there's that small support from VWAP. Hopefully it doesn't gain too much strength. I've actually got a little bit of a better entry. I'm not sure how. So I'm only risking $57 on this trade, and it will make me $105 if it comes down to TP. Never mind, I have my TP set wrong. It made me $100, so just shy of the 2 risk to reward. But now I'm mostly interested in just watching what happens here. I'm not expecting these buyers to hold up, to be honest. Kind of come back into this same range here and then continue down to the bottom. So I've just added one more contract to my short for an average price of just here. So now I'm risking $85 to make $227. We're wanting this candle to basically pin, and then next candle to come back down, and then we're looking to try and fill this gap here, and then we should sell off from there. So there's the pin. So now we want a nice drop, fill the gap, and then continue down. Not quite getting the candle that we want, guys. No, it took out that pin, so probably going to be a stop loss now. Unless it rejects in the last 10 seconds. No, I closed out the trade, guys, for a $60 loss. Like I said, I'm not risking a whole lot today. I'm not expecting easy price action. I mean, we're quite clearly not getting it. You know, that should have been a really easy sell-off from that point, but yeah, the markets are just moving a bit too slow. When the markets are moving slow, the bias of the market changes. Yeah, it would have been stop loss anyway, so managed to save myself a full stop loss, but yeah, just not a fan of the markets today, or this week, to be honest. It's been really tricky trading all week, apart from like the later session. You know, this area here was beautiful. Like, we had clear liquidity being built up here. We had this low here as target, and then we had this candle here as our main target, this bullish one. As you can see, we literally came, tapped in, and then just dropped straight down to TP. I don't even know what risk to reward it was, to be honest. Yeah, so it was about a 12 risk to reward. But yeah, it just means trading later in the day, which I'm just not a fan of. Like, you know, we used to kind of get these types of moves literally in the first 30 minutes to an hour of New York, and at the moment we're 30 minutes into New York session and we haven't really done a whole lot. Like, we didn't even come and tap into this candle here, so even that wouldn't have been valid. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of all this. Seems like market sentiment is just kind of changing constantly. Potentially try shorts from here. Yeah, price is kind of holding this level a little bit too well. Okay, nice drop here. If it can hold. No, doesn't seem to be holding. Okay, there we go. So we didn't get the 50%, but we did get the 100%. We just need sellers to actually hold here. We're getting too many wicks. Yeah, no, I don't like that either. See, this is the issue with slow markets, is you don't get the moves. Like, this is, you know, you want this trade done in, like, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Anything over that and you know, market bias then starts changing, and that's exactly the issue that we're having. Markets are just too slow to really be catching trades. You know, we're barely moving, and so any amount of buyers is then just completely changing direction. There's the 50%. Yeah, no, sellers just can't hold price. After this pin, we should have just had immediate, just, you know, hard drop, and then basically come down and take out this wick here. But we just can't get the momentum, guys. We'll see if sellers want to step in the market at the moment. 74% long at the moment, though, that's the only issue. Hopefully we can keep trapping buyers. So that's what wicks are, isn't it? It's they're trapped traders. So obviously in this pin here, you know, you've got trapped buyers. Sorry. So if we can keep them trapped and basically just push down, then obviously it gives us our buyers when we hit our TP. Because this will be, you know, that'll be a stop loss. This will be a stop loss, and obviously when they close the trade, they're selling it to us, and we're buying it back off them for our TP. But yeah, it's just slow markets. It's definitely not the easiest to trade. It's like a little war zone here. No side winning. Okay, we took out this wick here. We just need a little bit of speed in order to push it all the way down, but we're just not getting that. We're not getting that volume, you know, that momentum. We're up $200 at the moment, though. Full TP would be $628. And obviously TP is just this low area. No, we're buying it back up. Come on, we need to break this, push down, take out this wick here, and then it should be TP after that, but like I said, we just don't have the speed, guys. You know, if we had the same sort of like market volume that we had, say, 3 months ago, where it was actually trading like it is New York Open rather than trading like it's London, we'd probably have already hit our TP by now. Well, saying that, to be fair, the short that we caught here probably also would have hit. But yeah, it's just these slow grinding markets that just make it like more difficult than it's really worth to actually trade. No, I'm out here, guys. I got out like sort of there somewhere. In fact, I can. 1 second. 45. I got out. So I got out just there. Not the best trade, but I didn't like this pin, and then bullish response after. I don't like it. If it goes and drops down to TP, then that's fine. It's just I don't like holding trades for too long. We're up $150 on the day though, so we recovered the loss from earlier, and obviously made a little bit extra on top. I'm just not really wanting to hold trades like this when it's just so choppy. Speaking of choppy, gold finally had a nice move down. So it seems like that sort of overall market stability is kind of taking its effect on gold at the moment. Copper on the rise again. Yeah, possible shorts on copper soon. I don't trade these markets, but you look for the bubble, don't you? Yeah, see, I still think this is going to drop, but I'd rather take a small win and then just let it play out anyway. You can't really complain with $150 on the day. Is there any other markets anyone wants me to have a look at? I'm just gonna mark this back out actually. Where was I in? I was like 6.5, 6.75, something like that. Something like this. I don't know. But I'll mark it out and see if we actually would have hit TP. But yeah, I didn't like this pin. Obviously, I know it's more trapped buyers than it is trapped sellers, but I'm just not a fan of it. Yo, what's up, man? My mic's not working. Can you hear me? Okay. I mean, while I was watching it, I was just being quiet, Like I wasn't saying anything while I was just watching, but yeah, I was basically just saying like, you know, I'm just gonna watch and see if it actually played out, but came from my kitchen. Okay. But yeah, I got out like just after this pin here, just because I didn't like the looks of it. It was taking too long to play out. You know, realistically, we should have either tapped into the 100%, and then after this move here, you know, we should have had immediate seller response and pushed in, or you know, again, we tapped into 50%, basically had the exact same kind of setup, and then we should have had immediate seller response after, and we didn't. We kind of just sat around for a while. Finally, sellers came in, and then immediately bought it back up, and then pinned again. And I don't like that. You know, for me, that's not something I wanna sit in. So I took the small win. There's the take profit though. So it would have worked out. You know, obviously, if you'd only targeted the 50%, it would have been a 7 risk to reward. If you were only targeting the 100%, it was a 3 risk to reward. Whereabouts we were, it was about a 4.5 risk to reward. But yeah, overall, it was just a very slow trade, and I don't like slow markets. You know, it's bad for the way I trade. You know, it's bad for my mentality. I don't get along with them. Like I find that I sit there really anxious, and you know, just watching my profit or loss just like slowly increase. It's not for me. You know, I like to get my result kind of straight away. You know, if it's a stop loss, just give me a stop loss. If it's a take profit, just give me the take profit kind of thing. I don't like sitting in trades for longer than sort of like 5-10 minutes. Obviously, yesterday's trade, I understood it was going to take a while because obviously it's later in the session. You know, you're not expecting as much volume in this area. So, you know, I didn't mind holding the trade for sort of an hour. But yeah, it's just not my style, guys. I believe I was speaking with Jet Black and AJ. We were going through my sort of like statistics, and it was like 100% win rate up to like 2 minutes or something, and then 5 minutes it was like 85 or something percent, and then there was no trades between that, and then like the 30 minutes to an hour long trades, I had like a 40% win rate on. So yeah, it just proves to me that, you know, the longer I hold a trade, the less likely I am to win. And so obviously the longer I hold a trade, the less I like it. But overall, not a bad day. You know, I could have obviously made a lot more in this move, but you know, I'm still $150 up for the day. It's still a win. $154.82 on the day. So not crazy, but you know, it's better than nothing. I'm only really aiming for sort of like $500 a day at the moment, and that's all to do with basically a plan that I have. If I can prove to myself that I can do that, then that's fine. If it is a day where I make like sort of $154, then it actually helps me in a way, because I need 30 days of $200 or more. And obviously if I make less than $200 but I still make profit, it doesn't count towards one of those days, but it still increases my account balance. So, you know, I'm not mad at that. Question is, are we now going to be bought up from sort of like this area here? Personally, I don't think we will, but I will not be taking longs at this point. But always fun to watch, I guess. If the 100% of this order block gets hit, then that would have been TP2. Obviously going off of the previous take profit that we had when we caught shorts here. And obviously we pushed back up, we took a stop loss somewhere around here. But yeah, we were originally then going to hold this trade for here, so you know, could have scaled out some of the position once we hit this TP, and then held the rest for just here. But we'll see if that actually hits. I think it will. What's the date? The 9th. Okay. So obviously, guys, like we're kind of approaching, you know, summer, and you know, I don't know how it is where you guys are, but for us in the UK, summer is kind of like the only time we actually get any sun. So I like to make the most out of it. So there, that would have been TP2 and full TP. And now we'll see if it gets bought up here. But yeah, basically, in the next sort of couple of weeks, my availability for streaming is going to be kind of decreasing. You know, just because I'll be sort of going on holiday, you know, like going on like little trips, journeys. So yeah, just a little warning that, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, you know, I won't be streaming just as much. I'll still have to be trying to make the streams, but yeah, we won't be streaming as much. What would it have been if we'd have held that trade the whole way? I can't be bothered to map it back out. Should be soon. There we go. So if we'd have held this, so from our sort of like combined entry, you know, our average price, it would have been close to a 7. From the 50%, it was an 11 risk to reward. From the 100%, it was a 5 risk to reward. So a decent trade. Like I said, it was just this initial period. You know, we seem to have finally found direction, and now obviously we are pushing quite hard. But yeah, it was just that initial period that I just didn't like. You know, if we'd have had a move like this straight away, you know, I would have held the whole way. But you know, it's a shame that we got stopped out. Well, not stopped out, but you know, it's a shame that I closed early. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so I can see us dropping quite a lot, to be honest. I feel like we're going to come take New York low from yesterday. And the reason I'm saying that is, you know, obviously I know that we've been bullish today, but we never managed to like basically retake this high. So now if we come down and we sweep this low here, then there's no real reason to be buying from this point. It's basically just showing constant market weakness. So yeah, if we come down and take this low, then I'd definitely then say that this is kind of next area of interest for shorts. Obviously as a target, not as an entry, but it's always finding the entry that's the hard part, you know. Yeah, see, if I'd have looked at the 5 minute, and this is entirely my fault. If I looked at the 5 minute during this period, I actually would have had a lot more sort of, you know, clarity as to hold the trade. Because on the 5 minute, obviously this is the start of this candle till the start of this candle, but you know, that's a lovely pin. You know, and then obviously 5 minutes later, you know, we start seeing the breakdown. 5 minutes after that, we see this candle come and take out this wick, basically closing exactly on that wick. And then, yeah, we could have held it for the full TP if I'd have looked at the 5 minute. So that's my bad. I'm not sure if anyone joined the trade with me. I'm not sure if anyone decided to hold for full TP. But obviously, if you did, please let me know. But yeah, I got a little bit spooked out by the markets there. So we've swept this low here, and now obviously we're having a little bit of a fight, which is to be expected. But to be honest with you, I think that the bears will win. So possibly look for shorts on a pullback, possibly from like the VWAP area. You know, maybe somewhere sort of like this, and then just kind of watching different sort of zones as your stop loss, depending on how much risk you want to apply. You know, you could just kind of look at this area here, and then hold it for either sort of Asia low or previous New York low. But yeah, just a little idea. I probably won't be taking it. Just again, because I'm not a huge fan of trading markets like these. You know, there's obviously a lot of unknown things at the moment. You know, obviously Trump could kind of come out and say anything and cause a candle like this. You know, it's Friday, so you know, slow markets are kind of expected. At which point, as I previously said, I don't like holding trade for too long. But yeah, that's probably going to be the end of the stream, guys, because I don't see myself really taking any more trades today. So if before I go, anyone wants me to have a look at any other markets, feel free to let me know. But if not, then I'll probably just end up calling it here. We've obviously come down, had that push, and now we're just kind of slowing down price action again. But if anyone is interested in trading equities at the moment, definitely start checking out sort of like the later session. You know, we're starting to get some really nice moves. It's typically happening sort of like an hour before market close as well. Any other markets, guys, or are you all happy? Trading ES only. Okay, I mean ES probably would have been. Yeah, ES. If anything, was actually a cleaner trade, to be honest. So obviously ES failed to take the high that NQ took, and then immediately got rejected. Came down, broke this low, and then kind of had a confirmation break here with liquidity here. Came up, swept the liquidity, tapped into the last bullish candle before the move, tapped into that 50%, and then you pretty much got just a perfect move down. Like obviously I know there's quite a big pin on this, but I wouldn't have minded that one. It was more on NQ. It was a little bit more uneasy. So you know you could have obviously entered either from the 100% or the 50%, and then just held it. Whereabouts would have? Yeah, would have been holding it for this profit target just here. So you know, not as big of a move, obviously, but I mean it is ES. But you know, 7.6 risk to reward from the 50%, or almost a 4 risk to reward from the 100%. So I mean the setups kind of match across the markets. Obviously sometimes you do get a bit of like a divergence, at which point you know they're usually quite good to trade. Yeah, NQ is pushing for that Asia low really nice now. Not quite a pullback that we would have entered off of. Like I said, I would have been looking sort of like VWAP area, or at least kind of like a retest of this section. But yeah, shorts were definitely the play today. I'm quite sad that I missed basically the whole move, but you know, on to the next one. Can't dwell on these. But yeah, if that's everything, guys, then I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you all very much for attending, and I hope to see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a great weekend and a great rest of your day, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. All right, you're welcome, guys. Take it easy.